Thank you for visiting our channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more exciting food videos. Tonkotsu Ramen, a guide to Japan's creamy comfort bowl. Rich, creamy, and packed with flavor, Tonkotsu Ramen has become a star of Japanese cuisine. Originating from Fukuoka, this savory pork bone broth is a comfort food staple and a true labor of love. Its velvety consistency and deeply satisfying taste have captured hearts not just in Japan but all over the world. Whether you're a seasoned ramen enthusiast or just curious about this beloved dish, there's no denying its universal appeal. So, what makes Tonkotsu Ramen so special? Let's explore the story behind this iconic bowl. The origins of Tonkotsu Ramen. Tonkotsu Ramen traces its roots back to the southern city of Fukuoka, located on Japan's Kyushu island. Specifically, it's closely associated with Hakata, a district in Fukuoka where ramen culture thrives. The dish made its debut in the 1930s, originally as a quick and affordable meal for laborers, especially those working near the docks. Tonkotsu Ramen was a hearty, convenient option that provided energy and comfort during long, grueling days. Hakata-style ramen became famous for its milky pork bone broth and thin, straight noodles, both designed with practicality in mind. The thinner noodles cooked faster, which aligned perfectly with the fast-paced needs of workers. Over time, this humble dish evolved, gaining popularity beyond Fukuoka and eventually becoming a nationwide and global phenomenon. Today, you'll find tonkotsu ramen shops everywhere, but many still hold on to its Hakata roots. The key ingredients. The magic of tonkotsu ramen lies in its carefully selected ingredients, each contributing to its unique character. Here's a breakdown of the essential components that make up this iconic dish. Broth. The broth is the heart of tonkotsu ramen. It's made by boiling pork bones, often including marrow, trotters, and other collagen-rich cuts, for hours or even an entire day. This slow cooking process extracts deep flavors, fats, and gelatin, giving the broth a creamy consistency and a rich, savory taste. It's what sets tonkotsu apart from lighter broths like shoyu, soy sauce, or shio, salt-based, ramen. Noodles. Tonkotsu ramen typically features thin, straight, and firm noodles. These complement the thick, heavy broth by providing a contrasting texture. In traditional Hakata-style ramen, you can often choose your noodle firmness, ranging from soft to extra firm, called barakata in Japanese. This customization is a hallmark of the dish. Toppings. The toppings bring balance and variety to the bowl. Common choices include chashu, braised pork belly, tender, flavorful slices of pork that melt in your mouth. Wood ear mushrooms, thinly sliced for an earthy, crunchy contrast. Soft-boiled egg, ajitsuke tamago, marinated eggs with creamy yolks that soak up the flavors of the broth. Green onions, a fresh, bright garnish that cuts through the richness. Pickled ginger, beni shoga, adds a tangy, refreshing bite. Nori, seaweed, a subtle, briny touch to round out the flavors. Each ingredient is carefully chosen and prepared to enhance the overall experience, ensuring every bite of tonkotsu ramen is satisfying and memorable. Tonkotsu ramen isn't just a meal, it's an experience that excites your senses with its bold flavors, contrasting textures, and comforting warmth. It's no wonder it holds a special place in ramen culture. How tonkotsu broth is made. The heart of tonkotsu ramen is its incredibly creamy, pork-based broth. It's what gives the dish its signature richness and keeps people coming back for more. The process of making tonkotsu broth is a labor-intensive effort that brings together science and art. A result as delicious as this can only come from patience, attention to detail, and a deep respect for the ingredients. The importance of long simmering tonkotsu broth starts with pork bones, loads of them. These bones are packed with collagen and marrow, which are essential for creating that deeply pigmented, cloudy, and creamy texture. But here's the catch: this isn't a quick recipe. The secret lies in simmering the bones for hours, often 12 hours or more. Why spend so much time simmering? When the bones are cooked at a high temperature for extended periods, their proteins break down, releasing fats, minerals, and gelatin into the broth. This process transforms plain water into a luscious, silky liquid that clings to noodles and leaves a velvety coating on your lips with every sip. During this long cooking time, the heat also helps emulsify the fats into the broth, giving it that milky white color tonkotsu is famous for. You can think of it as coaxing every ounce of flavor from the bones. The goal isn't just to extract flavor but to create an almost creamy body that you won't find in other ramen broths. Pork trotters, rich in connective tissue, are commonly used to enhance the gelatin content. Some chefs go even further, incorporating chicken bones or adding aromatics like garlic and ginger early in the process. The simmering must be done with care. The heat needs to stay high enough to break down the components, but not so high that it boils too hard. Otherwise, the broth may develop a bitter or off-putting flavor. Flavor profiles of tonkotsu broth. Once the broth is ready, it's already deeply pork-forward with a thick umami punch. But in ramen, the seasoning, or tear, is just as important as the broth itself. Tonkotsu broth acts as a blank canvas, and the right tear elevates it to perfection. Here are the common seasonings used to enhance the flavor profile. Shoyu, soy sauce, a salty, savory addition with a bit of sweetness. It pairs wonderfully with the richness of the broth and creates a slightly smoky undertone. Miso, fermented soybean paste, brings a nutty complexity and earthiness to the broth. This is an excellent option for those who love bold flavors. Shio, salt, sometimes simple is best. Salt tear lets the natural pork flavors shine by adding brightness without overshadowing the creamy base. These seasonings, combined with the broth's natural depth, give tonkotsu ramen a balanced yet robust taste. The porky richness is tempered by salty, sweet, or even slightly tangy notes, depending on the tear used. The result? A broth that's full of personality, hearty enough to warm you on the coldest day, yet refined enough to keep your spoon returning for more. It's the perfect harmony of texture, flavor, and aroma. After the long hours spent simmering, this broth is a triumph that reflects its meticulous preparation. Components of a perfect tonkotsu ramen bowl. Crafting the perfect tonkotsu ramen bowl is all about balance. Each ingredient plays a role in building a harmonious flavor and texture experience, from the creamy broth to the chewy noodles and the assortment of vibrant toppings. Here's a closer look at how these elements come together to create ramen perfection. The ramen noodles. The noodles in tonkotsu ramen are just as important as the broth. Typically, they are thin, straight, and firm, a style that pairs perfectly with the rich, heavy base. The thinness allows the noodles to soak up the creamy broth without becoming overpowering, while the firm texture provides a satisfying bite with every slurp. These noodles are often made from wheat flour, alkaline water, kansui, and salt. The kansui gives them their characteristic chewiness and a slightly yellow hue. In most ramen shops, you can customize your noodle texture, ranging from soft to barakata, extra firm. Opting for firmer noodles ensures they hold their structure longer in the hot broth. To prepare these noodles, they're usually boiled for a very short time, sometimes as little as 30 seconds for extra firm textures. This ensures they stay springy and don't turn mushy once immersed in the steaming broth. The perfect ramen noodle acts as the bridge between the creamy, pork-rich soup and the vibrant toppings, tying everything together seamlessly. That's it for part 1. Now you've got the basics, but there's even more to explore. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll show you how to perfect this ramen at home. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.